Welcome to the Self Reality Podcast. My name's Angie. I'm your host, and we're here today to talk Survivor Season 48, Episode 6, and we're super excited. I am here with my guest host, my brother, the amazing Nick Hanlon. Welcome. How's it going?
Check. Am I here?
I can hear you. Are you excited about
Awesome.
this one?
I kind of forget what happened. Oh, yeah, I remember now. I'm looking at my notes.
Merge!
Yeah, it's a
Merge!
merge episode.
So it's a big merge episode.
Kind of.
We'll get into that in 1 second. Before we get there, I just want to always say like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Head on over to one of two or both of Nick's podcasts. He's got the Dirty Glass podcast with him and Denny Hanlon, who's reviews for the unrefined, where they drink drinks, and it's a hilarious show. And then, of course, there is Kayfabe Wrestling Talk with Nick's alter ego, handsome Nick Hanlon, and his buddy, the face to Nick's heel,
That's right.
Matthew Barnaby. So go check those out. It's the way wrestling should be talked about. All that being said, let's get into Survivor Season 48, Episode 6. I'm very excited. Always one of my favorite episodes, merge episode.
Yeah, it's
Sort
when
of.
the stuff starts hitting the fan, that's for sure.
Well,
Starts getting interesting.
it starts getting very interesting. I have a lot of pages of notes that we will hammer through very quickly because I know you have to record or watch wrestling tonight. But first, let's just remember last week, Bianca got voted out just so that we can discuss the aftermath. It was a surprise vote to her. It was one of those last minute things where Cedric found out that she didn't have a vote and apparently only told Chrissy, only had time to tell Chrissy. I don't know that I believe him.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
What do you
it
think?
just depends on how quickly they had to leave. Maybe he didn't have time. If they had to go and there's people around, he couldn't tell everybody. And if Chrissy was around Say, I just don't know who was around who.
I just think he didn't want Say to blow the whistle.
Yeah, he's not the best liar, though, so I don't know.
That's true. Anyway, I'm sharing this because Say did not know about the plan to vote out, the surprise change to vote out Bianca. They were supposed to be voting out. Who were they voting out? I can't even remember. Say
he didn't even tell Heath or whatever. Oh, Mitch.
Right, because Mitch votes for Say. That's the one vote against her. So that's going to get all up and interesting. So they go back to camp. Say literally goes, Cedric, I'm not talking to you. I'm only talking to everybody else, basically, which is just terrible gameplay, in my opinion. Terrible. And then Cedric does kind of explain what happened. And I think she kind of believes him. And then Mitch is kind of freaking out. It was his first vote, right? Because previously it had always been Vula. Mitch has never been. He voted for Say, so he also did not know the plan. So now Say, of course, she didn't seem that pissy about that, though. So I think he might be okay because now we're about to sort of merge and have a whole lot of people, a whole lot of chaos at camp. So I think there's not a lot of time for Say to worry so much about Mitch.
Yeah, they got the message pretty quick. Well, for the next morning, I guess.
Yeah, it seemed like boom. The boat shows up, and then it was basically drop your buffs. It didn't say they were going to merge because, spoiler alert, they don't actually merge, I guess, until the very end of the episode, right? It's kind of they've done this before.
It's the new generation merge.
I do have to say my favorite quote, or one of my favorite quotes of the episode, there's two in there, both from David, is he says, I might be made of muscles, but I have a muscle up here as well. And he points to his noggin. So
yeah, it's just a muscle.
So that was good.
He's not super happy about the merge.
No, because he's got a really good thing going on with, he's good at getting along with women. He's got a tribe of women in him. You call it his harem, and things are jiving. But we're gonna discuss.
He don't that he's losing his harem, and the California girls and the Guyana twins are buddy, so that's good for them.
Yeah, it's a good move for them, but things always change very quickly, and they do, right? So they have the happy merge music, or the happy music, everyone's together, and you feel things. I don't know, I always feel things when they merge, everyone's so excited, because it's kind of seen as a game, like a, what's it called, like a marker or a game point to get to, is to get to the merge. And then after that, you're happy. I think you want to get to the jury. So how do you feel about Say and Mary, like their reactions to seeing one another?
They're very opposite.
Thought it was interesting.
Like Say's super happy to see her.
Like,
Mary's
we're working
I don't
together.
want to work with her because she's crazy.
I kind of see where Mary's coming from, because I think Mary was really building some sort of some bonds and some friendships over there, and then suddenly she's got to go back with Say, who is, I'd call her a little unhinged, maybe. And I think it kind of gets worse and worse. And then they have an advantage. Someone gets an advantage. That was
Yeah, Say
interesting,
gets the
right?
advantage after a foot race.
She
Has
basically like,
to
do you think she
run to get that
snuck?
thing.
Do you think she snuck? Because the editors are good, right? They didn't show
I don't know. I think what's her name started running too soon. She
who
made it
Charity.
obvious, and Say was closer, and
Good point. That's a good
she
point.
just saw her running. She was probably closer, and just looked where she was running and started running.
Well done. Well
Because
done.
she was
She wins
obviously
it.
closer. I mean, I don't, she's pretty quick, but so is Charity. So I don't.
Yeah, they were both pretty fast. I would be the slowest runner in the world if I was on it.
Charity would have been smart just to continue looking around and walk straight until she was close enough to run for it. But I don't know. Like I thought Charity was going to get it at first. That's the way
I
they
really
make it
did.
look. But maybe Say saw it as well. I don't. Like, the way they edit, I
Interesting.
just never know.
Yeah. Interesting editing and camera work, I think. So that's how it sort of starts. You have the aftermath, you have drop your buffs, and then they go, and then there's right into an advantage. And then holy moly, it's a whole lot of strategizing this episode. Like, dear Lord.
They mentioned how Joe also drinks a gallon of milk a day.
So is that okay? Whoever's watching, is that like a muscly guy thing? Like, is that a thing? Because like,
No.
but they're both very fit, and they're not. It's not even like an age thing. Because I could have seen maybe like Joe doing it because he's a Gen Xer, but like David, I don't understand unless he has milk issues like we do from childhood. I used to drink a lot of milk too when I first got
Definitely
out of
weird
home.
they drink a gallon a day.
Like a gallon. How much is a gallon in liters?
I think it's like 3.5.
Much milk.
3.5 liters. So it's
That's so much friggin' milk.
3.5 of these of milk.
Of milk. It's almost as funny as when Bert Kreischer, you realize he drinks like 64 ounces of Kool-Aid
The
every day.
Kool-Aid, yeah, that's worse.
That's worse, but I mean milk. So I thought that was super interesting. I noted it too, by the way. So how do you feel about like the whole Eva and Joe? Like, of course they reconnected, not surprising, and that's lovely because like if you remember last episode, she had that meltdown. It was a beautiful moment that we both kind of cried about. I have a problem with this whole move toward we're gonna play an honest game of no backstabbing.
It's stupid. It's never gonna work.
Okay, I was gonna be like, Nick, what's your opinion? Because I'm like,
there's one person saying that, and then the rest are like, yeah, let's align and we'll do the same.
But
They're
it's
not
not
gonna do the same.
But you can't. Like, you can't win. So are you telling
Hey
me
Joe, I am going to vote for you. And
Yeah.
then Joe's just gonna say, okay. And he's not gonna go scheming and try and find somebody else to work with.
That's what I mean.
It doesn't. It's nonsense. You got to get off your fire ladder, Joe. I mean, this ain't the real world.
But it's not just him. It was David too going along with it after their big bonding over milk. And I'm just very freaking confused about it. Okay, so I don't think it's possible or you're gone. Like you wouldn't last because then you're not no backstabbing. That's what the game is, to vote people out. And if you tell them you're voting them out, they're going to vote you out.
It just sounds like people who have never played or seen
Has Joe
seen the show.
Perhaps Joe is one of the ones who's not been to Tribal, because another interesting point, hello Brucey, is quite a few folks have not yet been to Tribal yet. So so Eva hasn't. Joe, I bet, hasn't either. Oh no, he's been once. It's so stressful. Yes.
Was he once? Oh yeah, he was once for the California.
Yeah.
Well, he's one of the California girls.
So then this is probably my actual favorite quote from David. He's talking about, so it's Joe, David, Eva, Kyle, and Shaheen saying they're going to work together. And then David says, this time, because they're playing this honest game, they'll no longer be the meat shields.
That's true.
He's
I
full
guess.
of interesting.
I mean,
Sorry,
they're
I
trying to
thought it
start
was
the
funny.
Muscle Alliance. They think
Sort.
they're the Avengers.
Yeah, that's a good point because they're all muscly, actually.
Yeah, it's the muscle man. It's the athlete. He's trying to get the athletes all together.
Yeah.
That's why Eva's in there.
Yeah, well, she can put any of them to task. So the whole honest and loyal game, not a fan. I don't think it's possible. Correct us if we're wrong, viewers, but
They got to get rid of Eva or Joe.
Eva or Joe. I mean,
they got to break that.
Well, that's where Camilla and Kyle, I mean, oh my God, them playing like they're not close still is brilliant. And to be able to continue it on is just, I don't know, I'm impressed with that. Then what I didn't realize as well is that Siva still has their original all 6 members from that tribe.
Yeah, Mitch wants to keep them together.
Yeah, of course he does. But like, I wouldn't want to keep that's just putting friggin' targets. If I was Mitch, I'd be like throwing one of them under the bus.
I mean, if you got the numbers though,
there's
and you can convince them all to vote the same way. I don't think it's going to happen.
You have 13 people. They only have 6. So I think it's a tough sell, personally. If someone came up to me and was like, "We've been together since the first. Do you want to come vote?" They wouldn't say it that way. They're like, "Oh, you want to vote with these people?" I think someone would put it together. And I'd be like, "Sure, for sure, I'll vote with you." And then I'd vote the other. I'd be the backstabber, vote the other way. You know, it's so weird. But good for them.
Yeah, they'd have to pull one other person in, which would be tough,
Don't
I
you think it'd
guess.
be hard? I think it'd be hard. But
There's a lot of cracks and a lot of unhappy people. You could pull Say in.
yeah, that's true.
You could probably, I don't know who else, but definitely Say. Nobody wants to work with her,
Cedric.
but they could pull her in.
Cedric.
Cedric's all over the place.
But
He's
he's
always
too
looking for a new
volatile.
spot. So is Say. They're both terrible.
They're
at
both
this
very
game.
volatile. Yeah, that's
I don't
true.
know how
That's
they
why.
both made the merge.
How are
crying
they
out loud.
still there? I just don't get it. So, and then the other notable thing before we get into the challenges is Charity. I just think this is, again, I personally think this is a dumb move. She's trying to talk Star into asking Eva for the idol back. What are you talking about? Like, what has happened? Like, what is not functioning in your brain?
I mean, she can ask all she wants, but
Well,
you
and
gave
Eva
it
can
to
just
her.
say no. But
yeah, I mean,
but you've just made sort of a friendship, although Star does later lie and says she doesn't know that Eva has the idol, which I also thought was a bad move. But I digress. So
well, just so many people know.
well, now she's a target, which we'll kind of get to, I think, after the challenge. So we have the challenge. So it's one of these confusing, I had to like rewind, like 2-part challenges. So part 1, they're broken up into 2 teams of 6, you know, going through mud and basically like tar and feathering, right? Instead it's mud and wood shavings. They get keys, they have to climb a ramp and solve a survivor puzzle. It's pretty grueling. So it's 2 teams of 6. The team that loses gets nothing. They don't get the merge. So the merge meal, they don't get the merge meal. They're up. They could be voted for, and they also do not get to fight for the individual immunity, which will be the next 6.
The description I wrote down was crawl through mud, use grappling hook, get key from pile of garbage, run up ramp, use key to get puzzle pieces, do puzzle.
Even
Kevin
better than my
explained.
description.
Bottom 6 are out, rest will go for immunity. Oh, and Say gets to skip that whole step.
Which is
and gets the merge
amazing.
meal immediately.
Yeah. Just getting the merge meal alone, I think, is amazing. Not crawling through the mud and all that crap is also
not much thick.
My God, they're just I'm like, holy shit. So the 2 teams are, you have Charity, Eva, Shaheen, Mitch, Cedric, and Joe on one. They're the orange team. And then the purple team, you've got Mary, Chrissy, Camilla, Kyle, David, and Star.
I mean, Chrissy and Kyle were just lifting people up on the ramp.
Yeah, they were pretty amazing. And I think, it's the purple team that wins because...
on the wall, was it Kyle or was it David? I put Kyle. I don't know. Somebody was just like lifting people up.
It's
like
Kyle.
With one arm.
It was Kyle. Kyle and David were both kind of tag teaming, and that really won it for them. But also, what helped them win was Cedric. You always say he's so bad at challenges, and I want him to do good because he seems to be like in shape, but he just can't like.
It's like he reached up and then went dead weight. Lift me. He just put his hands in. He was like, lift me, and he's like.
I just think he's so exhausted by that
Lift
point.
me.
I don't think it was that, but I was like, holy shit. And that pretty much, in my opinion, kind of lost the challenge for them. I mean, they made a valiant effort at the puzzle, and they did pretty good. Like whoever did the puzzle at the end. Like it was unfortunate. It was unfortunate, but so purple wins, and then they get to move on to part 2, which is I love the endurance challenges, Nick, because it's you balance a ball on a pole.
The ultimate equalizer.
I love them. You never know who's going to win. They're easy, and they can really cut it so it's like really short. You know what I mean? They can really shorten it. So they basically balance a ball on a pole, and every 5 minutes until the end, they add another piece. So it's kind of live. They have to add another piece to the pole until it's super high. So it goes Chrissy's out first, then Camilla, then Mary, then Say, then David, and then it's a Kyle versus Star situation. And Kyle is the big winner, and he's the only one to get the merge buff.
Yeah.
I actually like
Rose is turning out pretty good on the challenges, on this challenge anyway. I was surprised.
Star?
Star. I keep calling her Rose.
Yeah, she is. She did really well. She did it was a real head-to-head competition at the end, and they were holding that thing up for quite a while. But I mean, Kyle's doing well. Kyle wins, blue buff, and then we go on to the reward, right?
Yeah, you're right. The immunity necklace is cool this time.
Yes, thank you. I like it. I thought it was kind of, pretty. I like the style of it this time. So I haven't seen one quite like that before. So I like the immunity necklace this time. Is there any other notes from the challenges, Nick, that you have?
Not really. It was a good challenge. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, I
Tall
was
wins
actually
immunity. I just put impressed star. Individual immunity. And it was cool. Commercial, and then everybody's eating with all their mud on them still.
can't they just jump in the water and wipe some off or something, or is there no opportunity?
I think probably they saw the food, just started eating because they were so hungry.
True, that's true.
The gassy people as well.
Well, and did you notice there was beer? It looked like they had beer this time too. I was hoping to see some drunken debacles, but they were all pretty laser focused on the food. The food looked good too. Sometimes it's kind of lame. This time I was like, that's a
Yeah, it was a
spread.
pretty good spread.
It's like fried chicken and like there was a lot of food. So then it was just a lot of ha 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 belching. And then I did find it an interesting move, and I want your opinion on this because normally no one will throw a name out. Star throws out Charity's name. How do you feel about that?
It's risky.
It's very risky.
You never know who I mean, you're so new in this all, merged. You don't know who's with who.
That's why I thought it was odd. But
I mean, I could see a lot of people not liking Charity, so maybe that's what she thought. So it was quick. I don't know if I would have thrown it out to everybody.
what if like taken someone, a trusted person or to a side or something? Like I think Star is just like when almost she gave Eva the idol or something, or she's reactive, I think she's emotionally reactive. So we'll see how that plays out. But she says the name. And I think I have noted here Mitch tells them he has an advantage, which I thought was
What's
unnecessary.
Mitch got?
Doesn't he? He has a steal a vote or something, or a block a vote.
You tell everybody? I don't remember that.
I made a note of it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I noted it.
I mean, why would you note it?
says he had it says he has advantage. So yeah,
If that happened, that's dumb. I don't
Yeah,
know why
dumb
everybody
move.
tells everybody everything.
I know we've discussed it a lot, but it's just weird, Nick. There's no I can't make sense of it, frankly. And then you have Say wanting to target Eva because she does have the idol. And I think this is where Star lies. She doesn't know Eva has the idol, and it's like you gave it to her, and there's people who saw you give it to her. So it's very odd to me. But anyway,
Yeah, nobody wants to vote for Eva because she's had that whole breakdown. You should have. I would maybe wait an episode or two, a few days.
you gotta
let that
wait.
cool off. Although
Well,
they're
and-
smart. I mean, they should vote her or Joe out.
Well,
He's
her
not
and Joe
wrong.
are a really strong duo, so you have to
They're the
kind
power
of.
couple.
I know, and like you got to think about that. And then cut to the losers. I just called it cut to the losers.
Yeah,
Cedric has a
breaking
meltdown.
down.
I feel bad. I feel bad for him. Like I can like relate. I feel like I would not be strong, although I think I would do some heavy training for it if I was on, but I just wouldn't be strong at challenges. Like I'm not a physically like in shape person, and I think he's struggling. So I thought it was pretty. Who was it? Someone gave him a pep talk. I think it was Star gave him a
It was
pep
Rose.
talk.
Yeah, Star. I was gonna say Rose again.
Which I thought was really kind. Like I think she was really kind to him because he was really like I felt bad. Like he was upset. And then it seems to be with everyone back at camp, in my opinion, it seems to basically be Charity versus Vote Note Say. Eva's thrown in a little bit, but then they dropped that really quickly, which I was surprised with. I thought they would go heavier on Eva because she does have an idol and she has that tight alliance with Joe.
Yeah, I think Mary at one point says it Say's like a venomous snake.
Yeah. And Say's a venomous snake and Charity's a turtle.
She's not afraid of a turtle.
Yeah, that was a good line too, actually. What did you think about Say going on and on and on and on about the food that they ate? After like complaining when Mary got excited to go on a reward.
I think she's just emotional. I
She's
don't
just-
know if she knows what she's doing. I mean, they asked her about it, but do you need to lift off 30 things? You're like, yeah, they had some. You kind
You
of
just go,
brushed
yeah, it
off
was
about
good. My favorite was the chicken or something. You know what I mean? I had
She
a
went
couple
on about,
beers.
like every single thing.
There was chicken and there was macaroni salad and there was potatoes and I was like, yeah,
she
they
mentioned
asked.
so many things.
But you want to know why they asked? Because they're being polite.
Yeah,
No
you'd
one
be
wants
like,
to
"Ah,
actually know.
it was
You're
good
like,
food."
oh, how was it? And Mitch, like their faces were like, oh, okay, she's gonna tell us every single piece of food they had. Okay, and I'm sure we've talked about this before. How do they go to the bathroom? Like, do they just go out in the woods? Is there like
I think there's
a
some
hole?
sort of outhouse or something.
think so?
They don't address. I've never seen them address it.
I'm curious about that. Like
I
how?
have to assume maybe in the early days they had to do the whole thing, but like with them, it's a little softer now.
That's
You know,
true.
like
I was just curious what you thought because I'm like, after you eat that kind of meal, after eating like coconut and water only for like friggin' 2 weeks, it's gonna roll through, man. You know what I mean? So anyway, let's see.
just asked Google, and Google says there is no designated bathroom or toilet paper on Survivor.
Really?
Contestants use their surroundings like the ocean or a designated area on the beach for their bathroom needs.
So they pee in the ocean, which makes sense. And then I guess they shat. Isn't that dangerous? Anyway, that's odd. Anyway.
Jeff Probst has said that contestants are allowed to go to the bathroom without a camera or producer present, but only under the condition that they say, no, I'm going to the bathroom. I don't know. This is Google AI telling me this.
All right. Maybe it's
Oh,
for
here's
an
another
old.
one. On Survivor, there are no bathrooms, porta potty, or toilet paper. If you're chosen to play, it's fair to worry about how you're going to relieve yourself.
Jesus
Interesting.
Christ. Oh, all right. I had to ask.
Restroom with the jungle and ocean are your options. Keep in mind there's no toilet paper. He continues aqua dumps, as the players call them, which take place in the ocean, are quite popular.
Okay. Moving on.
That's a lot of poop talk.
So much poop talk. I don't even know how to finish this up. Okay. The other thing I think that's notable is because it's a lot of Say versus, it's Larry. It's a lot of Say versus Charity. Say says she's laying low now. How do you feel about
Yeah. Compared to what she was doing before, she is, I guess.
So I guess
But
so.
I don't know if she knows what laying low means.
Yeah. And I think that's really my only comments about that. It was pretty obvious that it was one or the other. I always think maybe because they mentioned Eva, they'll throw that in at Tribal, but that was my only, like, maybe they're just editing it, but they, Eva, they didn't talk about too much. So we get to Tribal. There's a lot of metaphors.
Well, everybody's just it's one of those ones where everybody's not telling who they're voting for. The Tribals have not been that exciting yet because everybody's got a plan and everybody's sticking to it.
I know.
Which is what you should do in a game of Survivor, but
not fascinating
not that fun
TV.
for us because
No.
it's just like generic answers to all the questions, them just trying to get through Tribal without letting anything go.
Yeah.
And you got nobody who's on the edge yet, so
yeah, no one's like freaking out. Like I'm waiting for someone to have a little freak out or something. It's just a little
haven't had any gatherings where we're like people are talking to each other, like
a little too lovey-dovey.
That'll come, but huh?
It's a little too lovey-dovey, Nick. It seems to be the theme this season. Also, half of them hadn't been to Tribal before,
right?
So they were really playing it safe.
They've all seen the show, but I just don't. I think like because it was Charity and Say's name were the names being bounced around. I don't think either of them thought the other one was even on the block as well.
Yeah, I think no one knew. And I do think even though they've seen the show, going to Tribal, like you could see some of them like looking around like, oh my God, like what's her face threw the pen down to the ground by accident.
Yeah, that was really funny.
I thought that was funny. Like they were almost in awe of it, and I think I would be too if I'm honest. My first time at Tribal, I think I would be like,
oh, it's
holy
huge.
Shit, look at this.
Culture shock or just
like, well, if it has a fan. Can you imagine Jeff Probst? Anyway, so Shaheen calls it a house party. I thought that was actually an excellent, like you're going from a small dinner party, being used to a small dinner party, to a house party. Mary calls it a dog park, where some people are sitting in the corner. That was a good analogy as well. And then Kyle throws in sniffing butts, and he made Jeff laugh, and he was all proud of himself for that.
I finally made you laugh.
And then it's sort of, they call it, dysfunctional family. I thought Star, it was interesting. Like, I think it was Say who called it the most dysfunctional family, but then Star is basically like, I have people in my family I don't like. I don't know that it's the most dysfunctional. Like, they're your families.
I wrote that down too. That was a good analogy.
I thought that was a good one.
Just because Auntie Nina's coming to my house doesn't mean I like her.
Exactly. So I thought that was good. So yeah, dysfunctional family. So anyway,
she's coming out as a good character.
She is. She's like coming out of her shell. So it's really interesting.
It's pretty funny. I like her vernacular.
I like her vernacular too. She's feisty. So the votes end up being, this is what I found interesting. So the votes end up being 5 Say, 7 on Charity, 1 on Cedric. I had to go back and figure out who voted. So Charity gets voted out. She's shocked. She can't believe it. I'm personally surprised by who put the vote on Cedric.
Who did it?
Say. So she obviously had no idea her name was on the block.
I didn't even hear her talking to people about Cedric.
Well, I have a feeling, I'm thinking that they weren't engaging her in the vote, either that or no, they told her about Charity, so she knew about Charity. So even knowing that Charity was the name, she threw a vote at Cedric, I think, to mess with him. I think it was to mess with him. What do you think?
Yeah, because like I don't know, like it has to be just to mess with him, unless there was talk about Cedric that she brought up that they just didn't put in the thing.
Don't think so. I think if they threw another name out, they throw that in the edit. I think Say's messing with him because of how many times he's put her name down. But I think it wasn't a smart move, although I'm guessing she didn't know it was between her and Charity.
I don't think she thought she was getting as many votes as she did.
No, because she did look surprised as her name kept coming out.
I mean, she's in the center of every vote almost.
Yeah.
Except for the one.
she's good TV. She's interesting. She's got a lot going on.
I'll give it to her. She's a survivor. She's made it through.
Well,
And this
she's
last merge
made it.
one, yeah, she's got
Impressive.
the merge, which I'm shocked. So did Cedric, which I'm shocked.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
But good for
I
them.
don't know why they don't just join teams.
Well, they are. They're
They keep
supposed
getting
to,
pulled together.
but I think they're going to stab each other in the back. I feel like next week is coming. I think that's a coming. So decent episode. I mean, the merge is interesting. Seeing all the sort of interactions and the new dynamics is interesting. But still a little ho-hum on the drama a little bit. But it's because it's new, so it's almost like the game started again, you know?
Everybody's got to get to know each other.
But pretty good, pretty decent episode. What do you think? What are your final thoughts and your
I thought it was a
score?
good one. There was some funny stuff with Star, and I like the analogies were funny. I just want to see Tribal get a little more lively.
Yeah, Tribal is driving the score down for me, I think, this week because it was just a little bit ho-hum for me.
That's like a 6-8.
I'm a 6-7.
So it was good. I was interested the whole time, but
yeah, I didn't really lose
Wait.
interest. I need something more. I need, and it wasn't even an interesting blind side, to be honest with you.
not
At
really.
least usually when there's a blind side, it's like, yeah, like I friggin' will cry out, yes, I'll be excited. It was like,
I mean, how shocked she was pretty good.
it
shows she
was,
has no self-awareness of what's
but
going on.
I think that's my problem with it, is that it's just her lack of self-awareness, and she really thought she was running the show.
Yeah.
So that was interesting-ish, but it wasn't like, it was more a blindside due to lack of self-awareness versus a blindside due to really great gameplay. Like, I don't think it was great gameplay that led to the blindside, I guess is what I'd say.
Yeah, she's pretty dumb, that Charity. She didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, just self-involved. So yeah, 6-7, Nick's a 6-8. That makes sense. All right, well, what are you looking forward to next week?
No, I don't think I watched the next week thing. Anything.
It's not much. It's just basically saying everybody's obsessed with me, and it's
Oh, is that what it is now?
yeah, I think it'll be like all eyes on Say next week, which it has been almost this entire time anyway, but I think it's potentially going to get intense, I would say.
Although they could make it look like that. Who knows?
Well, yeah, you never know with the commercials. They try to pull the best. The thing that is perplexing to me about next week is that it was super short. Like the preview, I'm like, is it? Anyway, I'm excited to see how the dynamics
short
play
preview?
out. Yeah, it was pretty short. It felt short, and there wasn't much substance to it. So that always makes me a little concerned. So my hope is that we get more and deeper into the game. We see more. We see some real alliances forming. Like I'd like to see.
See some strategic shit.
Yes, like they kind of started with it, but it was pretty. When there's 13 people, I think it's very difficult, and 6 of them are from an original tribe together. I'd like to see mixing it up. I'd like to see some backstabbing, despite the the 6 some who are saying they're not gonna. I mean, then you guys are gonna get voted out one by one.
Once one of those guys get voted out, there's gonna be some broken hearts.
Well, there
We're gonna
are,
find
because
out.
I actually, like, as a person, Joe just seems like the most stand-up guy you've ever met in your life. But that does not always make for a good Survivor player.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I
but
don't
he
know,
could
man.
get interesting, because if let's say, and I actually like Eva. I don't want to see her get voted out right away, because it moved me. Like, what happened to her? But let's say they vote out Eva,
Get
and
her out of there.
they blindside Joe. Can you imagine? I think he might turn around and become completely venomous. He might become a venomous snake.
If they
next.
blindside him,
If they blindside him to vote out Eva.
well, he won't be happy.
Like, I
But
think
that's what's got to happen.
Yeah, yes, one of them has to go. I think.
I mean, I'd be at one of them. I don't know. Joe might be the one to take out.
I think you might want to take out Joe. I don't know. Yeah, because he's kind of her strength, right? And he's got
I
like
don't
a
know,
good
one of them.
story. One of them. Anyway,
Well, he's likable.
they're both very likable. But so, like, David's become likable. Like Shahid, there's a lot of likable people actually this season.
Mm.
I usually hate everybody. I like Camilla, and she's like the vicious. Her and Kyle, like, God, they look so nice and friendly, and they just like pretend they're not friends. And oh my God, they're actually, that's what. Oh, that was what was in the preview. Kyle and Camilla are going to pull something. They're going to set up, and this is in the preview, so I don't mind telling you. They say they're going to set up Shaheen.
They're going to set up who?
Shaheen. So I think that's pretty interesting.
Oh, the beard guy.
Yeah, the bearded guy. They're going to set him up. So, and they just, how they kind of cut it together was super interesting. So yeah, that was the other little snippet. So you never know what it means, but anyway, looks interesting. I think that's all I have. Nick, are you good? Did we cover it?
Yeah, good to go.
we were good to go. So as always, thank you everybody for watching. Let us know your thoughts and feelings as well as we like to do here. Head on over to Dirty Glass Podcast, like and subscribe. Then head on over to Kayfabe Wrestling Talk, or just do it in a reverse order, like and subscribe over there. And of course, if you haven't done so already and you're still here listening, give me a like, subscribe. You like talking about Survivor, you like to listen to it, go on. Go ahead and do it.
Get it done. Hit it.
Smash it. So thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.